How about now? Does that work?
I heard it.
All right, cool. Great.
All right. Just make sure you don't touch it.
Coming up on Point News, a former Pittsburgh police officer charged with homicide for shooting and killing a teenager as he ran from the traffic stop. The trial is underway now. We have the brand new and correspondent from the courtroom right here.
Point Park's business students have a new options for pursuing a postgraduate degree. Find out how you can earn your degree without leaving the house.
And is it spring-like weather out there to stay? We have a look at your weekend forecast.
Live from the Point Park University Broadcast Center in downtown Pittsburgh, this is Point News.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Point News. I'm Jevin Flegel.
And I'm Nick Berlansky. Pittsburgh is in the national spotlight right now as the trial of former police officer charged with shooting and killing a teenager is underway. Point News reporter Alex Lenigan joins us now with the latest developments in the Michael Rossfield trial. Alex?
Thanks, Nick. We are now on the third day of the trial of former East Pittsburgh police officer Michael Rossfield, who is charged with one count of criminal homicide in connection with the fatal shooting of 17-year-old Anton Rose last June. Yesterday's testimony featured witnesses who were present at the scene of the shooting, some of who saw the incident unfold entirely. One witness that stood out was John Leach, a neighbor who lives on Grandview Avenue where the shooting occurred. Leach testified that for 43 minutes, where he described Rossfield as distraught after the shooting, quoting the officer as saying, "I don't know why I shot him, I don't know why I fired." Other testimonies included East Pittsburgh Mayor Lewis Payne and a Pitt football player who recorded the incident on his cell phone from about 600 feet away. The final witness called yesterday was Daniel Wolf, an analyst from the medical examiner's office. Wolf testified that the gun residue found on Rose's hand could mean one of three things. Rose could have fired a weapon, been near one when it went off or came into contact with a surface that had residue on it. Testimony resumed at 9 o'clock this morning. Prosecution said that they expect to include at some point today.
Mayor Peduto issued a new executive order on March 4th called the Pittsburgh Principles. According to a City of Pittsburgh press release, the Pittsburgh Principles outlines the expectations for self-driving testing cars. The principles include transparent communication between the city and drivers, promoting self-occupancy with low emissions, and engaged with industry leaders to develop more self-driving tech. Timothy McCartney, communications director for the mayor, states that self-driving technology can significantly reduce transportation-related crashes and expand access and lower cost. The Pittsburgh Principles is the first executive order of its kind.
Point Park's business students now have another option when working towards a master's degree. Nicole Fascino has more.
About 4 years ago, Point Park University gave their education students the opportunity to complete their master's degree online versus on campus. It originally started as a way to keep the program afloat, but it turned out to be much more than that. Sabrina Filkowski gets up every morning around 5 a.m., gets in her car, and drives to Westmont Hilltop Elementary School where she teaches first grade. When she comes home around 4:30, she will grade papers, get out her laptop, and work towards getting her master's degree online through Point Park University, a school that is about 2 hours away from her home.
I've never been to Point Park campus. It makes it easier because I don't have to travel for my classes. I can go home right after work.
Well, I am going to be the video coordinator.
About 4 years ago, Point Park University gave their education students the opportunity to complete their master's degree online versus on campus. It originally started as a way to keep the program afloat, but it turned out to be much more than that. Sabrina Filkowski gets up every morning around 5 a.m., gets in her car, and drives to Westmont Hilltop Elementary School where she teaches first grade. When she comes home around 4:30, she will grade papers, get out her laptop, and work towards getting her master's degree online through Point Park University, a school that is about 2 hours away from her home.
I've never been to Point Park campus. It makes it easier because I don't have to travel for my classes. I can go home right after work.
Sabrina tells me that the option of taking courses from her own home allows the program to be more accessible to her. According to a new study released from the United States Census Bureau, the number of people holding master's degrees, aged 25 and older, went from over 10 million in 2000 to 21 million today. Dr. Richard Gutkind says that he has seen this growth take place in the education master's program at Point Park because of this online trend.
Really, in this day and age, this is what our students want, especially graduate students.
In the state of Pennsylvania, teachers are required to gain an additional 24 credits before their 6th year of teaching. And Dr. Gutkind says that a lot of these teachers think that if they are taking these 24 credits anyway, they might as well just get their master's degree. And although the salaries of teachers vary depending on the school district, a master's degree greatly helps.
Most teachers' contracts are set up in a way that the more credits you have earned, you get a little bit of a bump in your salary. If you have a master's degree, it continues to grow.
And Dr. Gutkind says it also helps society as a whole.
We need the best possible teachers in our schools right now.
Now, Dr. Gutkind told me that they are looking to add more programs in the near future. Nicole Fascino for Point News.
The School of Communications graduate assistant Ellen Staton had the experience of a lifetime recently representing Team USA in the 2019 Winter World University Games as the women's videographer. Staton traveled to Moscow, Russia, and was there for 3 weeks breaking down plays and goals for coaches. Her word advice for students is to keep in contact with employers and past coaches.
So I am going to be the video coordinator for USA Hockey. My old coach at Adrian College, Brett Berger, he called me one day and he said there's an amazing opportunity. They need a video person. Can I put your name in? And I said, absolutely. He told me, I don't know the dates yet. And I said, I don't really care. He said, it's in Russia. I will be there no matter what I have to do to be there. So I'm going to be filming their games and then like marking them during the game, like a goal, a power play, and then breaking down the footage afterwards for the coaches.
Stanton used software similar to what the NHL uses with Microsoft Surface. She returns back to the U.S. early this morning. Switching gears now, Pittsburgh is to embark in the city's largest sewer project in the city's history.
Find out where the project is starting and what the city is doing to improve its water lines.
All right, we're ready.
Oh, no. You are right.
Is the wind really necessary, guys? We need the wind. Okay.
You go today. It's awful. Yeah. That's awful.
Okay, I need someone to make me laugh.
Where's Wyatt? Wyatt's always late, duh.
I'm here. Jealous?
Get out of my way.
Stop.
Cool. Okay. And now we're smiling. There's a lot of noise going on. Let's keep the background.
3, 2, 1.
Here at the Pioneer sideline.
We covered the real sports.
Another season. The Penguins are just getting started with the regular season this week.
Pioneer sideline.
The show that starts your Friday mornings has returned with both familiar and new faces. Daybreak host Taylor Fife and Delaney Bomas are bringing you the latest updates in Pittsburgh and Point Park news. We also have a variety of talent on our free segments. Whether it be singing, dancing, or indeed egg smashing. Start your mornings with us at Daybreak on UView at UView Television.
Welcome back. The calendar says it has officially arrived, spring, but does the weather agree?
Point News' Noah Strackbine joins us now with a look at your weekend forecast. Noah?
Thanks, guys. While the spring weather is slowly and surely approaching, we do have a little dip in the weather a little bit. This Friday will be a high of 42, but we'll get down to 26, and it's going to snow. Hopefully the last snow of the winter before we get into that nice summer weather. Then Saturday, we're going to get a high of 44. It's going to start rising back up. The low of 27, but it should stay warm and maybe a little cloudy throughout the day. And then Sunday, we'll finish up with a high of 55. We're getting back towards the 60s as we head into spring, heading towards Easter with a low of 39. No snow at that point. We should be right on track back to the spring. And
according to a press release from Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority, the PWSA embarked on its largest ever water and sewer infrastructure upgrade in the organization's history. The $13 million plan is going to start with over 7,000 feet of new water and sewer lines in the Strip District stretching from Smallman Street on 16th Street to 21st Street. Tracy Smith is the open records officer for the PWSA and looked positively toward the future as the, quote, past project was under budget and worked immensely. We aim to do the exact same with this project.
One of Pittsburgh Road is set to receive a makeover. The intersection of Ellsworth Avenue and Maryland Street in Shadyside will become the city's next artistic intersection. Pittsburgh Public Art and Civic Design Manager says the city hopes to tap into its LGBTQ population to highlight one of Pittsburgh's more inclusive neighborhoods. According to the city's official website, this will be the second attempt at an artistic intersection, with the first one being unveiled in Kirkwood. Last year, the winning design will be implemented in time for Pittsburgh's annual ride, Pride Week in June. Still to come, Point Park students can now join a new club on campus to focus on issues related to them.
Find out how this organization can impact you and students throughout campus.
I know just the trick. Bippity, boppity, boop. Much better. Guys, Samir Nefsky, and I'm outside of the Benedum Center right now. So in just a few moments, we're going to go inside the Benedum Center to talk to Trevor Dion Nicholas, who plays the genie in Disney's Aladdin. I'm Samir Nefsky giving you the theatrical scoop for the Berg. Hey guys, so I'm now inside the Benedum Center with Trevor Dion Nicholas, who plays the genie in Disney's Aladdin.
Have you ever wondered what the help boxes around campus are used for?
Point News reporter Megan Masiosi spoke to public safety officials to learn more. Take a look.
You pass these on the way to your room, your walk to class, and through Village Park. But what do these boxes do for students on campus?
Student, faculty, staff presses the button. We're alerted in our dispatch center, which gives the location, and it's a two-way communication from us to the caller.
In 1990, the Cleary Act was passed after 19-year-old Jeananne Cleary was raped and murdered on Lay University's campus. All colleges and universities that receive federal funding must put emergency boxes on their campuses.
A Metis box is an emergency alert system that we have on the campus. It's approximately over 100 of the boxes in the areas.
Public safety has a new way for students to report more serious incidences, like dating violence and stalking, via the Tip 411 app. The app allows students to anonymously send public safety a message discreetly. This is to help students continue moving if they are in immediate danger.
Those buildings are owned by the city itself, so there's nothing that's on Wood Street. But that's where that Tip 411 comes in handy, because it's an app you have on your phone. You press it, and it's like instantaneous. You send that app, goes to our dispatch, and then the dispatcher will notify an officer.
Lieutenant Black says the response time is under 2 minutes when one of these buttons are pressed. Reporting in downtown Pittsburgh, for Point News, I'm Megan Masiosi.
According to the Rape, Abuse, and Incest Normal Network, 23.1% of females and 5.4% of males experience sexual assault during college. Point Park University introduced a new club this month called A Voice for Innocence for college students affected by rape, sexual abuse, and sexual assault. According to club president Nina Gabriella, the club's goal is to provide advice and protect and contact resources to help survivors heal. Club participants are encouraged to share their personal stories and support one another. The group most recently held a meeting this past Sunday evening. Coming up on Point News, beach season is just around the corner.
It's not too late to start getting in shape. We'll show you some of the new equipment at the Student Center gym. That's coming up on Point News.
The United Student Government at Point Park University, working since the 1970s to solve the issues that matter to you. What concerns do you have about the university? Student life, safety, food service. Send us an email to studentconcerns@pointpark.edu or stop by our office on the 7th floor of the Student Center. You can also attend our weekly open meetings on Mondays at 3:15. Follow us on social media at USG_PPU for more. The United Student Government. By the students. For the students.
The Point Park Sports Network, bringing you live coverage of Pioneer Athletics on Stretch Internet, the home of the River States Conference and the NAIA. Subscribe today for complete access to the Point Park volleyball, baseball, basketball, and soccer teams. Watch live and on-demand broadcasts and don't miss a minute of Point Park Athletics. Head to pointparksports.com/live for broadcast listings. The Point Park Sports Network, your streaming home for Point Park Athletics.
3, 2, 1.
Please visit our website. Please, it's a nice website. Please visit our website. Please.
If you have ever watched television, whether accidentally or on purpose, YouView is for you.
Welcome back. If you've ever been to the Student Center gym in recent weeks, you've probably noticed something new in the equipment.
Point News reporter Nicole Pampina has the story.
Facing out-of-order signs and too frequent breakdowns, the Student Center installed all new treadmills over spring break. Dean of Students Keith Palo said this was just one part in a schedule to keep equipment up to date for students. Palo said by far the treadmills in the Student Center get the most use, making them first in rotation to be replaced. While there is no quantifiable data for number of breakdowns, just one out of order affects the student's experience on packed days at the gym.
Now, even though the companies that support fixing those and maintaining them are wonderful, a day down is a day down that a student can't use the treadmills.
Track and cross-country student athletes are especially reliant on these machines working properly during training in the winter months.
We basically use the gym every day. We use treadmills probably like 3 times a week. And then I guess we use the new treadmills probably like 4 or 5 times.
Think of it like a car. The machine tracks every mile and every step as it's used, and eventually the machine reaches its lifespan, meaning it's time to get a new one. While a student activity fee covers the cost of more minor resources within the Student Center, the bill for these new treadmills came from elsewhere.
When it comes to that, it would be, a university, it would be a capital budget type item because of the cost. So within any university budget, capital projects are built into that.
Palo reiterated a focus on student needs and recommendations when it comes to updating equipment, and Stamets already notices a difference.
They're a little bit smaller. I feel like I have like more range of motion, like the little side ones. It's easier to make my form nice.
According to Dean Palo, the replacement of other cardio equipment is likely not necessary until next year or until the need arises. Reporting from downtown Pittsburgh, I'm Nicole Pampina for Point News.
That's all for this week. Thank you for watching.
Point News will be back next Thursday at 2 p.m. Have a great week, Pioneers.